My name's Stu Gearing. I'm the General Manager of Parks Towing, and it's a family business and I'm the second generation. We've got quite a diverse fleet. Even on Friday we just finalised an acquisition. Actually, we purchased an additional 6 trucks, moving into the line haul market of cars, trucks, machinery. So we now kind of operate 4 multi-car, kind of 6-car units. And we have, our general tow trucks, kind of class 2, class 4, slide decks, cradle trucks, which is quite specialised towing equipment where we lift one end of the car and have to jack up the other end, which is kind of becoming more and more of a thing with electric vehicles. So we're seeing a bit of a trend in needing more of that equipment. And then we have our heavy recovery gear, trucks, trailers, low loaders. Yeah, feels like the list goes on. I think we're currently sitting at about 42 trucks. And with trailers and support vehicles, I think we're somewhere in the high 70s. The line haul part's really new and we're trying to get our head around that pretty quickly, so I probably can't talk to that too much, but the around town or around the South Island, which we've done for decades, it's probably that constant communication with our guys and just knowing what they're up to in the field. Like, we have extensive standard operating procedures and things like that, and we're just kind of moving to a more digital space. All of our guys have tablets for the dispatching part of our business, but we're trying to bring the kind of updated SOPs and all that kind of stuff to them. They can currently report all their incidences, not that there are many, but their near misses and things like that, back digitally to us. But for us, I suppose, what we want to know the most about what's happening in the field is, for us, one of our biggest risks or exposures is roadside. We can control as much as we can control, and then you've got to deal with the motorists of other people. So that's where, for us, Navman, especially from a dispatch point of view, our dispatchers have, the screen full of trucks up, and in the back of their mind, they've dispatched that job, and we have certain progressions that sit through our dispatch system. But we can see when that truck gets to the point and when it moves on, especially in the rural areas where the guys are loading and corners and things like that. So that's a big safety thing for us, is knowing that the guys have got to the job and then they've loaded the car and then they've actually started moving again without having a drone follow the guys around. So effectively that's how we use that in a major way. Absolutely. Look, we hear the odd driver feedback in the lunchroom about how they might have been cut off, or a car's pulled in front of them and they're using that as their braking buffer. I think that's a constant, complaint of truck drivers, that the general public don't actually understand why a truck driver's hanging back. It's their safe braking space. But I think from our industry point of view, or from Parks business, it's that road safety. When our guys are loading on the roadside, people just don't move over and they don't slow down. We put road cones out while the guys are loading, but I think there's so many road cones on the road these days. I think people just don't slow down for them. It's nearly been lost as to what they were for. There's just so many of them around. For us, with our line haul that we do in the South Island to date, it's just planning ahead as much as possible. I think for us, certainly in that kind of line haul space, we have to make sure the guys have their available hours. And if our dispatch team haven't planned those jobs out, the collections out, we can run into driver fatigue. So basically, I suppose we're such a reactionary business. We always talk about what can we make, how can we be proactive. So we try and plan as much of the driver's day out as possible, making phone calls for them and things like that, so that they can really concentrate on the driving aspect of their job. We're quite lucky in our application of the driving part that our guys are all operators, so there's a real physical part to our job. It's not so much a metro freight delivery, or not that I'm belittling those things, but we're really lucky that it's quite a physical job of loading and unloading vehicles or trucks or diggers or whatever it is. So our guys keep relatively fit, and I think we're quite lucky with our application also. Not one day is the same. So I think it's good for the mind. It's not the same route every day. Our guys, it's keeping it fresh for them. And wherever possible, we try and kind of mix it up a little bit for them as well, so that it's not the daily grind for them. Given that the origins of our business have mainly been towing, a good tow operator, it's at the core of what we do is to help people. You know, they've either had a crash or they've broken down, and I think that's, you know, it's in our SOPs. It's our company motto. We take the problem away, and I think that's how we approach most things with our business, and it works, you know, for most questions. But it's what we live and breathe. So if we're taking the problem away, if we're making our work zone safer, putting the cones out wider, trying to, you know, create a safe zone, and that helps the motorists slow down for us, that helps everyone. Everyone gets home safe.